I told y'all them girls was not gonna give me no damn wrinkles. Yes, ma'am. We got to get into some things. Let's go get them. What's going on, Marvin?
How you doing?
I am good. This is the man behind the camera. Oh my God. I can't believe it. So, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marvin Price. I am the founder and CEO of Dr. Price Television LLC. I started Dr. Price Television my freshman year, which was fall 2011, on the campus of Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I started it with nothing. I was a broke freshman in college. Started filming with a BlackBerry and the first iPad to ever come out, and I've just been working my way up ever since.
Wow. So, what made you want to start filming the dolls?
Well, my major was mass communication.
Okay.
Um,
Same.
my focus was broadcast journalism. I later changed it to print so I can get out of school quicker. But to answer your question specifically, I started filming the dolls almost accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
I was a band head. I am a band head. I love the sound of marching bands.
Yeah.
I'm in a band from the 6th grade to the 12th grade in New Orleans, which many people will call the Mecca of all bands. It's like band head central.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always just been in love with bands. And so I started filming bands, with my cell phone when I got to college. Southern quality sucked, but it really wasn't getting any views. So towards my sophomore year, that's when I started saving up for a better camera. Still wasn't a good camera, but it still wasn't, trickling the views that I want.
Right.
Because anytime you're filming, you want people to see your product, and people aren't seeing my product primarily because what I was doing wasn't original.
Mm-hmm.
There were other people who were filming bands, and there were other people who already had an established name.
Right.
So I had friends who saw me struggling, and they saw me. They saw what I was trying to do, and it was like, okay, Marvin, instead of doing what he's doing, what you need to do is start filming them dancing dolls. And this was before Bayou Classic 2013. Mm-hmm. I know we're still some time, but it was like, you should film, the dolls. So I actually did a Bayou Classic mini video for 2013 of just, getting April and some of the seniors from that year, just mm-hmm. the fans and the field show. And people in the comments was like, you should start filming the dolls regularly for football season. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, who the hell wants to watch 30 minutes of just dancers? Because mind you, I have that band head mentality.
Right.
I said, okay, I'll try it. So for the first game, home game, because we played ULL that year at ULL. Mm-hmm. So the first game, I believe, was Central Methodist 2014. I said, all right, I'm going to do a dancing doll highlight video. I have nothing to lose. They're not really watching my footage anyway. So it's another video that they're not going to watch. So I did it, and it took a while for me to realize that people were actually watching. Mm-hmm. You ever hear the cliche that this was the best thing since sliced bread?
Yes.
It was almost like, whoa, there's just a camera on the dancers.
Right.
And only the dancers, to where you could just focus on them. And it caught people off guard because it was never done before.
Right.
And there was never a 25 to 30 minute video just dedicated to them, covering them the whole game. So it was like, wow, this is interesting. And then the rest is history.
It's very interesting. Like, people don't realize, like, just watching the dance team is just, like, amazing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, what was one of the most challenging things that you had to overcome while filming throughout all of your years?
Oh, there's so many challenging things you have to overcome. I mean, in the beginning when I first started, it was more of a self-confidence issue,
right?
That I had to overcome because I'm the new kid on the block, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can see your vision. That's something that I had to learn early on.
Mm-hmm.
People will not support you if you don't have an established name, and that's with anything, whether you're trying to start your own business, whether if you're trying to be a rapper or whatever.
Yep.
If you don't have a name behind you, you're not going to usually see the support that you want. And so for me, that was hurtful because filming was always my passion.
Right.
I always had a passion for filming and photography. And, I had people, when I didn't know what I was doing, they used to say, hey, that boy doesn't know what he's doing. People used to make side comments. And you try not to let that get to you. But when you know what you're capable of and you're trying to get there and you just constantly hear negativity, it could mess with your mind. So that was one thing that I had to overcome.
Yeah.
Another thing, going into this avenue, lane that I created, I was still going in this lane because it was new, blindsided,
right.
if I should say. And so throughout the years, you'll start to see that, something so simple as picking up a camera and filming is not as easy as you would think it would be.
Right.
There's certain things you have to watch out for. There's certain people who's watching your stuff. And quite frankly, there's going to be certain people who are not going to support you no matter how good you get.
Exactly.
So you have to learn how to overcome that and really just, it's mind over matter.
Right.
And that's with anything. The most successful people in the world, whether it's Beyonce, whether it's LeBron James, no matter how good they are at their craft, they still have haters.
Right.
But
always.
It's not going to hinder their success. You're going to have people that love you. You're going to have people that hate you. You just got to be pressing forward, and you just got to keep building.
That's true. I had to learn that too. Definitely had to learn that. So, what are you more interested in? Are you more interested in like the filming aspect, the production, or the post production aspect?
For me, that's a tough one because for the filming aspect, I'll say this: if you ever look at me at a game, especially in the beginning of the season, more so than anything, I am locked in. I'm serious. I don't want to talk to you. Don't you dare talk to me while I'm filming.
Right.
And I'm making sure that my team members who are with me filming are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So there's a lot going on. So during the game, that's my focus. But I tell people all the time, the real work begins after the game for me. When I look and see all of the footage that we have compiled, and it's time to really create and make magic. And I tell my team members all the time, you have to be locked in. I'd say, okay, we got all of these nice cameras. We'll have all of these nice angles. But, you got to film like my angle that I'm filming is just going to fail. And the only angle we have to rely on is your angle.
Yours. Right.
So there's a lot of things that go through my head, but my favorite part probably is the post-production, just to see what we were able to capture and create a product to send out to the masses.
Right. I love all aspects, but I would definitely say post-production is very fun because you can really see what you put out. You see what I'm saying?
Right. You can show your creative side.
Right.
So I really do enjoy it.
Yeah. So, outside of the dolls, what other dance teams intrigue you?
I like the Stingettes. I like the J sets. Now, when it comes to intriguing, like, oh wow, that's really interesting to look at. Probably the Golden Girls more so than anybody else.
Right.
just because their style is just so different, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, like I said, I didn't come in this thing being a fan so much of dancers. Like
Mm-hmm.
that developed over time.
Right.
You know, to see how the Golden Girls get it, shake it, it's interesting because I've seen dolls
Right.
and it's a completely different style. So I like the Golden Girls.
Yeah. They're really entertaining. They are.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Absolutely.
So what made you actually want to film the Golden Blues?
Well, my god sister,
Mm-hmm.
well, we came into Southern together. She actually made the Golden Blues her freshman year,
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Steele's. And I had a big crush on one of the Golden Blues. Her name was Kayla G. I said, man, I just loved me some Kayla G. And I just started filming them with my cell phone. And I just, up until I got to Southern, I didn't know that Southern had another dance team.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, wow, they're just as good as some of these other dance teams.
Right.
So I started filming them with my cell phone. And then, of course, as I upgraded equipment and then as I was able to stand on the side of the court, I started filming them more. And then it just developed into something bigger. I always wanted to bring the Golden Blues into like a bigger limelight because I really felt like throughout my years in undergrad, they didn't get their due justice.
Right.
But Blues has always had heavy hitters from my freshman year when they had Josie and then they had Caleb Vaughn, and then before I even came to Southern, when they had the Tara and Sierra Cole.
Yep.
And then when I was filming the Golden Blues, you got to film Micah and Teneria, and there's so many names I'm forgetting, but they've always had heavy hitters on that team. And so in 2017, fall of 2017, amongst other things, I was determined just to really, really, really stamp my name as a videographer. And Jonas, who is the founder of the Golden Blues, Jonas Vanderbilt, he said, hey, I want you to film tryouts. And I said, okay, cool. I can do this a series. And so that became something totally bigger than what I ever thought it would be. Because now, here I am becoming, in my eyes, the ultimate cheat code for dancers. Because before this, you really didn't get insight on what it's like to audition for an HBCU dance team. And so I wanted to take my cameras, not just when they're going across the floor and doing technique, when they're teaching all of the things that they need to know for the auditions, but I want to take them into the deliberation room and see the nitty gritty of what the judges actually talk about. Now, granted, the past 2 seasons I've gotten backlash because some of the things that I put in the actual series. A lot of people have said, oh, that's harsh. These girls have feelings. You shouldn't have done that. Well, my response to that is, just because I don't put it in a video doesn't mean it's not being said.
Right.
And these are all adults. They're young, very young adults, but if you're going to audition for a college dance team, you need to know that this is what's being said. And you got to learn how to develop tough skin. Right. If either you're going to, take the criticism as it's given like an adult, or you're not, and you're going to sit on the sideline and watch. And so what I'm trying to do with that series is just make it an ultimate cheat code. Now, a lot of people with that series, they're like, how come you don't post the episodes as frequent? It's basically more so because of the reaction I've gotten from current team members. They do get in there as well. It's no secret, and I hope nobody takes offense to what I'm about to say. Women are extremely emotional.
Yes.
And so you have to kind of understand that they're sensitive about the smallest things. And so you got to just kind of be strategic, because when I posted the second episode of last season, second and the last episode, I had girls who didn't make the team comment under the videos. Oh, I see why I didn't make it. They were talking about my weight. And as me, who's a content creator, and not a dancer at all by any shape or form, I feel bad. Like,
Yeah.
these girls actually, they actually have their feelings hurt. I've had girls who auditioned for the team and didn't make it send me pictures of salads they're eating because they're going on diets, and it's like my so I'm kind of like sensitive on when I'm gonna post. I'm gonna post them eventually. I wanted to post the second episode of this season sometime before the month of May ends.
Yeah, because they want it. They've been asking.
It's coming. It's coming. But that's my reason for it.
So, do you like filming them, and like, what is your experience with filming?
I love filming the Golden Blues. I absolutely love it. Let me tell you something about me. If I don't love to film it, if I don't love my subject, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Whether it's the wedding, whether it's probate, whether it's Golden Blues, dolls, I have to actually really love what I'm doing for me to do it. Otherwise, it's pointless. The Golden Blues, they are, in my eyes, if you want to know who are my top two favorite dances, it's easily the dolls and Golden Blues, 1A, 1B.
Right.
Right, period. The Golden Blues are like a family. Connor, who's also a former member of the Golden Blues, takes great care of the girls, from the training that they get, from what they do, the bonding experience that they go through after auditions. It's amazing. I'm sure you saw in season 1, after the girls made the team, the trip to New Orleans, ate out at a restaurant, stayed at a bed and breakfast. I mean, this is an experience that a lot of dance teams don't get to enjoy.
Right.
And so the fact that the Golden Blues have a unique experience, I was like, wow, this is really amazing. And that's why you see a lot of Golden Blues who end up becoming dolls or joining up teams. They always go back to their experience on Golden Blues because it's literally unlike anything else that they've experienced from their first year on the team to their last year. So
I just love the fact that you get to see the progress too. Like, you going from Golden Blues to making the dancing dolls. It's a really good process. I love that.
Right. Now, I will say this, that I'm very happy, and that's one of the reasons why I'm happy that I've done the series with the Golden Blues, is because for the longest, people looked at the Golden Blues like they were just like an afterthought.
Right.
In that series, you find out real quickly that you have to have technique to be on that team.
Exactly.
You're not cutting any slack. If you don't have the technique, you're not going to make it. And me, I'm very sensitive when it comes to some of the stuff people say on YouTube about these girls. And I'm going to tell you right now, I do delete comments. I try to give people freedom of speech, but some people take it too far.
Exactly.
These girls would dance circles around 99.99999% of their critics. And, me, I'm friends with a lot of these girls. And so I'm going to do what I can to protect them as well. And so the Golden Blues, they're just awesome. They're awesome. Yeah. So if you haven't checked out Making a Team, please do so. It's a great series.
It's a good series. I love that series. So do you think that you would ever get a chance to do a series for the dolls like that?
No.
Okay.
I mean, that's just because, the dolls they'll tell you all of them tryouts are closed. Just to put it out there, I've never bothered to ask.
Yeah.
It's intense. Golden Blues auditions are intense as well. It's just some things, I guess, are better left not to be filmed. If you want to know what doll tryouts consist of, you got to try out for dolls.
Yeah. So, what do you like filming the most? Stands or field?
Stands.
Yeah.
Stands. By far, just because, like I said, I'm not a dancer.
Right.
A lot of dancers will probably say, field, because you get to showcase your technique and blah, blah, blah. Me, I'm not that type of person. I like stands, just because it's easier for me to determine, oh, that's a new talent that she's throwing, and it's just exciting. I feel the energy, and so I'm sure last year I got to really work on that as well. The stands really do excite me, especially when they do some new and creative stuff in the stands. So the stands by far.
Yeah. So, was there any time that you felt like you wanted to give up filming?
Yes. To be honest with you, I think about just walking away every season. It's been like that since the 2016 season. Filming is not easy, especially as an independent videographer. There are things that you have to go through. There are certain rules that you do have to follow. Sometimes the way that those rules are presented to you can come off as being very harsh, and you really don't understand why. But the thing that keeps me going is the fans. Like, I know that there are people week after week who look forward to my videos.
Right.
And, those fans and the members of my media team are really the only reason why I do keep going. Because week after week, especially last season and the season before that, I'm like, is this even worth it? But you know what? It really is reassuring that, when I do read the comments, because I do read the comments and see people tell me that they enjoy my work, even when I don't think it's as great as it should have been. It keeps me going. So, yeah, there are a lot of moments that I just feel like walking away.
Yeah, I understand. I truly do. So, like, when it comes to equipment, like, what do you use? Specifically, what camera do you use?
Well, I actually just bought a new camera. I'm not really as open as I should be about equipment, but this one right here, I have a Sony A7R Mark IV with a 24 millimeter 1.4 G Master lens. This is my new baby. So I'm gonna do some nice 4K videos, and then I have another lens. I just so happen to have these on my table, but this is my 85 millimeter.
I bet they shoot real good too.
Yes, as a matter of fact, this one, the reason why I purchased this one recently is because last year I actually rented this, and I actually rented it for the FAMU game, and I used it for the fifth quarter. If you remember my dog video, was it All I Do Is Think of You, and how the quality looked? It was this lens with a Sony A7 III, and I was like, oh, I need to get this lens, and I bought it. So
I know it was expensive too.
Lord, the Lord blesses His children.
Okay. So, what was your experience filming from this past season? Because I know it was a lot of issues.
Filming this past season was a challenge. I'm always blessed to be approved for credentials outright. Anytime I do apply, I do appreciate that. Let me first start off by saying that I don't take that lightly. I don't ever think that I'm entitled to anything that I am given. But as the years go on and things begin to change, it's hard to adjust because things aren't how they used to be. When I first got my very first media pass in 2013, there were no restrictions. 2014, there were no restrictions. 2015, there were no restrictions. 2016 was when restrictions started being implemented. And I could tell you I could write a whole book about the 2016 season. 2017, it kind of relaxed on the restriction because I was pissed. 2018, when things begin to change as far as like the dynamic of just leadership within certain organizations, but the university as well, restrictions were put in place, and then last season it seemed like they doubled down on it and made restrictions a lot harder. Um, to be pretty candid, for home games last season, all non-affiliated media teams, of course, they could film if they were approved for credentials, but they could only film from across the field. And so a lot of people are like, okay, Marvin, why don't you get the whole team? Or why is your angle like this? For home games, it's usually because I was sneaking on the home side to get my shots up until the fifth quarter comes. Right. It was literally a miracle that I was able to do 30, 40-minute dog highlight videos because I was literally, me and my team were literally sneaking on the home side to capture the shots that we captured, which I have my feelings over that. I look at things from not just a business perspective, but from a moral perspective. All of my media team members are students of Southern University. Right. And so, for me, it kind of hurts my feelings that they're getting told that they can't stand on the home side to film, organizations that they're helping to fund, exactly. In their tuition. And as for me personally, yes, I graduated, but I am a subscribing life member. I'm paying off my life membership of with the Alumni Federation. So, we give back not just through our talents, but with our money as well. And so, I know that you bend the rules for one, you have to do for all. I just hope for next season that they look at that and look at what my media team consists of. So it's financial members of the Jaguar Nation that they'll consider us being allowed to stand on the home side because that is our home. Exactly. So yeah, the 2019 season was interesting.
Yeah. So what was a lot of people want to know about you and the doll sponsor. Like, what was your relationship? Like, what was your experience with her?
Before she was a doll sponsor or while she was a sponsor?
Both.
First of all, I think she's an amazing person as far as what she's been able to accomplish. I know she just defended her thesis and she's getting her doctorate. She's going to be a real doctor, unlike myself. But she's always been nice. I met her fall 2015. She was the assistant to the vice chancellor of student affairs. It's always been cool. I'm trying to figure out the right words moving forward. I know things tend to change as restrictions are put in place. And I've seen the things that are on YouTube. Morgan, I saw the video that was made, primarily talking about myself and Miss Akai. I will say this. And my goal for this interview was never to burn any bridges, but to just shed light on what independent videographers go through. 2018, we had a good relationship. We even talked just about, myself disabling the comments because people were just being so rude to the current dance captain at the time. And I was completely on board up until I got a screenshot of a thread on bandhead.org of people bashing me for disabling the comments. But I'm not going to even get into that. 2019, things seem to change big time. Not so much our relationship. A lot of people didn't like how she was reacting and talking to videographers. And up until the Boombox Classic game, I didn't have a personal issue with her. I know some of my team members had issues with her. I think the most important thing for everybody to remember is we're all adults. And there's a certain way, especially when you're a public figure, and you're over prestigious brands and organizations, whether it's media teams, whether it's dance organizations, you have to be mindful of how you act towards people in the public.
Right.
I'm sure if you talk to Killer Kev, he'll tell you a different story. Showtime Webb, he'll tell you a different story. For me, I know a lot of people, and that video was made after Boombox Classic, and I'll tell you the story about it. In the beginning, so I'm very smart, first of all. I'm very smart on how I do things the way I do. I know how Jackson State Stadium is set up. It's hard to get the full team because there are seats right in front of where the dogs are lined up. So not only did I apply for media passes, but I also bought 2 tickets in that seating area right there. Nobody can tell me nothing. So she was like, I heard her telling people as she was walking back and forth, and as the dogs were marching in, I don't want people, can y'all back away with the cameras, please? And I'm like, I got a ticket and a media pass. I'm not backing.
You pay for that.
And so she came over to me, and some people saw the video before I went and edited it in YouTube. She was like, back away with the camera. I don't want any close-up shots of the dolls anymore. Okay? So just keep it at a distance. Okay? And so, that finger was wagging, and I cut the camera off after that. And so we talked, and she was like, because I know you saw what happened to Gabby. So there was a situation to where there was a picture from Crank Fest that somebody took of Gabby. And it, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Break text. I guess it was a picture of her, I don't know, hair. It wasn't how it was supposed to be.
I know what you're talking about,
And so it went viral in these Facebook groups. I didn't see the picture. None of my team members took the picture. So, I didn't know what she was talking about. Now, Gabby did call me the night before asking if I know who took the picture, if I seen the picture. I told her, no, I didn't. And it's unfortunate that people would do something malicious like that. But she was like, I know you saw what happened to Gabby, and we just don't need any close-up shots of the doll anymore because people just don't care about these girls and all of this other stuff. And my response to her that game was like, well, I've always done a good job of making sure I've shown the dolls in their best light. And her response was, well, I wouldn't say all the time, but you do a good job of asking. And so for me, this is the biggest game of the year. I'm pissed. I feel insulted. And I'm like, I kind of got out of character as she walked away. I was upset. I'm fuming.
As you should.
And because I missed a lot of the first half just trying to maneuver and get a good shot of the whole team. And so I was mad. And so what I did was I did include that snippet of her telling me that she didn't want any close-ups of the dolls in the beginning of the video. But then as I cooled down, a few hours later, I went in YouTube and just cut out that portion. And so my goal was to never, bring any negative light to Miss Akai. I actually like her. I really do. But as an independent videographer, somebody who studied journalism, and my subject of coverage is the dolls, anytime that there's something hindering my work, I felt that my fan base deserved to know why I missed the first half of the Boombox Classic when it
Right.
came to. So that's why I did it, just to let people know that I was told that I didn't want any close-up shots of the team.
So let me ask you this: how did you feel when you get to see another videographer, film freely, but then you just get you and other, videographers be pushed back?
Uh, I feel two ways about it. The band has their own media teams. Most of the big bands have their own media teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to have the exclusive rights. They're going to have the prime shots.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Do I think that independent media teams have to be restricted, or being told that they got to stand on the opposite side of the field to get denied media credentials? No. So, I mean, I understand it. I don't agree with it. Just because, all of the major videographers have a large following base,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
I'm really trying to find the right words to say when it comes to this, because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, this is really deep. It's I feel some type of way when other people who watch my work faithfully notice it and start putting it down in the comments, right? Yeah. I feel bad for my media team members who are just blind to anything dealing with business and the politics of filming, because all they want to do is film, right? They're just trying to gain experience, as most of them being mass comm majors. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get experience. For them, this is an internship for them. So they're covering SWAT games, so they're not really understanding why things are the way they are. So from several perspectives, I feel terrible that they have to experience it with me. I'm grateful that they've stuck with me. That is. I can go on and on about how I really feel about it.
Yeah. So, how did you still? How were you still able to film? After everything went on. Like, what was your motivation?
My motivation literally was shit. I mean, excuse my language. But just to be honest, there were some games I just walked in the stadium unmotivated. Okay, I'm here. Let's just try to get the best angles we can possibly get, and let's go home.
Yeah.
Because you got to realize, like, every game that I film comes out of my pocket. I am the budget. Whether it comes to camera equipment, whether it comes to hotel rooms, I travel on my own. So all I want to do everywhere I go is to get good shots, to help bring exposure to the university, my university. And to be honest with you, I feel like I've been holding myself back because other universities don't have media restrictions like Southern. Prime example, Alcorn. Like Alcorn, in my opinion, they're benefiting greatly from independent videographers covering their band and dance team freely on top of their media team that they have. Like, and this is really no cap, because you look at Killer Care Productions and you look at what his most watched video is. His most watched video is of the band of Alcorn and the Golden Girls marching in, and I think that was posted 6 months ago, and it's at 7.4 million views. And then his second most watched video is from, I have it written down, 1.7 million views from Alcorn this year. And then his third most watched video was last year, 1.2 million views of the Stingettes and the Hornet Band marching in. And then same thing with Showtime Web. He has Southern marching in from Crankfest 2017, 4.2 million views. And then Smash Time, every time he comes to Crankfest, he has the most watch. you know, videos from that performance. And so I my biggest takeaway is I don't ever want, even though these organizations have their own media teams, to do a great job. The Human Jukebox Media, they do a great job at covering the band and covering the dolls. But you can't undervalue the importance of independent videographers.
Right.
I still think we play a big role, especially since, you know, the views that I've kind of just like mouthed off, they're more than a lot of the official media team members are getting on their respective channels.
Right.
And a lot of these independent videographers have less resources, and so the fact that they're still able to get the viewership and following bases that they are getting is just simply amazing. And I feel like I'm holding myself back by not filming other marching bands and dance teams, because I look at other people's subscriber base just you know, booming. And here I am, almost at 50,000, and you know, you got Killer Kev at over 150,000, Showtime Web over 100,000. So it's just like, I know I'm doing myself a disservice, but eventually I may just move on and start filming other bands and dance teams. But, you know, a lot of people just have to realize it's hard for me, because Southern is all I know.
Right.
Southern is all I know. Is where I've had my best of times and worst of times. All of my memories from the past 9 years have come from Southern University. So it's hard, but we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah. So how did you feel about, you know, other videographers film around you guys, like with your team? I don't know if I said that right, but
how did I feel about other videographers?
Basically, like, how do you deal with filming in a space with all of the other videographers?
It depends on what the atmosphere is like. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it. It really just depends. Most times I kind of only talk to my media team members. You know, I'll speak to other videographers if I see them, and if we have a good, cordial, you know, relationship. I'll say, "Hey, how you doing? What you covering next week?" But other than that, I'm all about business, because I ain't paying Dr. Price to television's travel bill. So it's like I gotta focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah. So, do you feel like YouTube for videographers? Do you feel like it's more so starting to become like a competition, like who, you know, has the best quality, who gets the video first?
I don't see it as a competition. And the reason why I don't see it as a competition, to answer your question, yes, some people do see it as a competition. In my eyes, they'll never admit to it. I don't see it as a competition. I think because, to me, I cover what I cover differently than anybody else. Other people are going for more of a cinematic look, or a whole bunch of camera angle changes and things like that. They're going for that movie look.
Yeah.
They're going for that angle, which is great. It's perfectly fine. It benefits the programs. Me, I'm trying to tell a story. I'm trying to cover everything I cover it with the mindset of a journalist. Like, a lot of people are like, well, why do you cover the dancing dolls each week? For me, I consider, like, I'm a big sports fan, and one of the biggest sports writers out there is Brian Windhorse, who's known for covering LeBron James. Yes, he does other stuff on the side, but his biggest subject is LeBron James.
Right.
For me, I've chosen the dancing dolls to be my subject, and I filmed them week in and week out. Not so much just to show people the moves that they're doing, but to tell their story.
Right.
There's a story behind each week. And without getting personal, without getting an exclusive interview here or there, I'm able to do that by how I capture it.
Right.
A lot of people are like, okay, Marvin, why did you get this angle? Or why is this video more focused on her versus the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really understand that until I start doing the Spotlight series post, and then I compile all the footage. See, for me, my my coverage of the dolls it stretches far beyond football season. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a postseason. I just finished the Spotlight series where I'm able to do not just a compilation video of the girls dancing individually, but to even write up just like a description or a caption like you would usually do. You would usually see in a newspaper or on ESPN. So
you went off for Gabby. I like that.
Well, you know, I'll say this. You know, as videographers, we have to usually keep our opinions to ourselves. Mm-hmm. I know that's a rule I have on for my media team members. Anyone who's on my team, if you're selected to be a part of my team, you can't comment in any Facebook groups about any of the dance teams. Right. You can't give your opinions publicly, and if you're caught bashing, if you're caught, you know, not following those rules, I'm gonna put you off. Right. I've done it before. That's just something that I'm very big on. So for me, in the description of these Spotlight videos, I'm able to really kind of say what I'm thinking in a professional way. Because really and truthfully, I love all of the dolls individually for what they bring to the table. A lot of people are going to ask me, who's my favorite doll from this past season? I don't have a favorite. Like, I like them all individually. I truly believe that all of them are good enough to make the team. If they weren't good enough, they wouldn't have made the team. Mm-hmm. And so I treat them with the respect that they deserve. And so I try to do every video I do week in and week out, I try to put myself in their shoes. If this video was on YouTube of me, would I like it? Right? So
yeah, that's true. So let me ask you this. When it comes to the Spotlight videos, do you choose the music or do you get the girls to choose the music?
For 90% of the songs, I ask the girls what songs do they want. That's why a lot of them, I see the comments, they're like, oh man, this Spotlight song is perfect for her. And I'm like, oh, she chose it. Yeah. She chose her own song. Now, there are some songs that the girls choose and they get flagged for copyright and the video never posts. And so then that's when I step in and choose. Like Jordan. Mm-hmm. Jordan's recent Spotlight video, the first song wasn't her choice. She actually wanted Legend by Drake, which would have went perfect for telling her story. Because in my eyes, Jordan is a legend. Mm-hmm. Of course, YouTube flagged it. I tried to change the pitch of the song. I kept doing everything remotely possible. But I had to find another song. So the second song I chose got flagged again, and YouTube blocked it. And so then I just started looking up some artists that I listen to that are kind of hot. And so, who was it? I want to say Summer Walker. Mm-hmm. It was a song called Karma. Mm-hmm. I think it was Summer Walker. And I just started scrolling on YouTube, and I started listening to the song. And I'm like, okay, does this fit with what Jordan, her story that she's been telling? And I don't know the lyrics verbatim, but I think it started, I told you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then there was another part of the song, said, don't you know that you can't be doing these girls like that? I said, ooh. And then the part that really got me was, nice to meet you. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm just here to do my job. Like, when you think about that,
it makes sense.
It makes sense because Jordan was just here to do her job, get her wool, and move on with her life.
Right.
Finish what she started. That's a whole different discussion. But yeah, that was why I chose the songs that I chose. So I try to get as much insight on what the girls want as far as their Spotlight video, because it's their story, it's their video.
So, can you give us an estimate on how much you usually spend throughout the whole season? Because people don't realize it's expensive.
I tell you one thing, when I don't have the 2019 numbers with me, but for 2017, and my equipment was a lot cheaper than the one I have right now, cameras I have right now. I spent over $17,000. When you think of car rentals, when you think of hotels, when you think of cameras, it was well over $17,000 for the period of August through December.
Dang.
So, yeah, because you think about it, like car rentals plus insurance, then I got to feed my media team members. We got to stay in hotels for a day, up to 2 days. Yeah, I blew that 17,000 number through the roof this past year because we had to cover Rose Bowl. And if you saw how much I spent out there in Los Angeles for those 5 days,
I know. So let me ask you this question: how do you feel when you have more views and recognition for dancers rather than having more, views for the actual band?
I've come to accept it. I think a lot of band directors, not so much Southern's band director, but other band directors, I think they have an issue with it. They're like, ugh. And I see like the band heads comment on it in some of these Facebook groups. They're like, oh, the dolls are taking away views from the band. Like, why do people actually want to see the dancers versus the band? And my response is, I'm sure the football team thought the same thing when people come to football games to hear the band.
Right.
So you got to go in with the mindset that everybody plays a role at a football game. Whether it's the band, whether it's the dancing dolls, whether it's the football team, whether it's the cheerleaders. I'll tell you a story. In 2017, somebody's like, you should do a cheerleader highlight video. And I'm like, I don't do no cheerleading highlight video. Nobody's going to watch that shit. And like I said, I'm blind. It's never been done before, right? I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do one for the first home game, 2017. I said, if it gets 5,000 views in a week, then I'll do another one. That video got 5,000 views in a day. And I was like, that really taught me a lesson. Just because you think that you're the spotlight that everybody wants to see, somebody's here to see somebody on the cheerleading team. Right. Somebody's here to see somebody that's on the football team, or just to watch the actual game. Somebody's here to see the band. Somebody's here to see the drum section, the dancing dolls. Somebody's here to see the Greek strolling in the stands. Somebody's just here for the in-game experience because they just didn't want to be cooped up in a dorm. And so they look at everything. So the biggest takeaway is everybody plays a role. And so to anybody who's upset that the dancers are getting more views than the band, get over it. Thankfully, these bands do have a media team to where they put the focus on the band. So instead of watching my videos, you can watch their videos. They do a good job. Human Jukebox Me does a great job of showcasing the band. And so you're more than welcome to watch them. Killer Kev, he's a great independent videographer. You can go to his video, Smash Time Production. You can go watch all of their videos. They'll post a 0 quarter and a 5th quarter. So if you don't want to watch my doll highlight videos, I mean, you can unsubscribe and subscribe to them.
Okay. So, what were some moments that you captured that you'll never forget?
Ooh, there's so many. From this past season? Or
whatever.
There's a list. 2015 was the Hello video that went viral at Bayou Classic, which is my favorite weekend. That went viral, got 1 million views in 7 days, made Huffington Post, Washington Post, USA Today, Sports Illustrated, so many other, MTV.com, Vanity Fair. Like, that video went super viral. Like, the article that the USA Today made about that video was shared 101,000 times after last year, which is crazy, right? And then the views that it got on Facebook, oh man, like the ones that just posted the actual video and not the YouTube link, I honestly think that the Hello video might be the most watched HBCU fan video of all time because just the way you could just track the viewership of it.
Yeah.
It did a lot for HBCUs. It was the number one trending topic on Facebook worldwide, surpassing the Donald Trump presidential campaign and Kobe Bryant's retirement announcement. I'll never forget that. So I was very proud. I actually had a screenshot of it. I don't know where it is, but I was very proud. My parents were very proud of me. Another moment was I had a video make Billboard.com again in 2016. It was with the band and the Dolls playing Controller by Drake. That made Billboard. But for me, one that just caught me off guard by surprise was 2017 when the Dolls did the stand routine to The Weeknd.
Yes.
Man. So I almost dropped my camera because I was so caught off guard by what they were doing, right? So, the Dolls were just giving us new stuff week in, week out.
Right.
In the stands that year. That they were just monsters. I tell people all the time, when Danny got up to dance, she used to put the fear of God in me. She was a beast. And so I'll never forget, Alcorn had just finished playing The Weeknd. I said, oh, Southern, they have that in their book. So I think that this is next. So I heard the intro come in. I'm thinking, dang, she didn't call no, she didn't do none of what they used to. Yeah. So I said, I wonder what they're going to do. Then when they all got up together, I said, whoa, I had never seen the Dolls do nothing like this before. I said, man. And so I had to kind of like keep my composure because I was literally shaking with excitement. Like that's just exciting for me because it was like, wow, I've been feeling the Dolls since the end of 2013 and just watching the evolution in person is just amazing. And so that was a great moment. SZA had shouted it out. She said the video looked like a movie. That made me feel good because a lot of people, they were like, oh, your video of Hello only went viral because you were the first one to post it, not so much because of my quality. Fine. I made Billboard.com again in 2016 with that Controller video, but it is what it is. We're still mad about that. 2017, when you have the artist herself comment on how the video looked like a movie, I mean, there's no better stamp of approval than that.
Exactly.
2019, Dolls had, 2018, first of all, Gabby was a beast. The field shows, every damn field show they did was a memorable moment. Exactly. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to just say this. My personal opinion, I thought those were the best field shows of the decade.
Yep.
And, we call Gabby the countologist for her constellations in the stands, but when you ask the question of what her legacy is, I'm going to tell you the greatest field shows of the decade.
Period.
And then 2019 had the 50th year reunion of the Dolls. Wow. And it was weird for me because it's like you had all of these eras, right? You had the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, and then for Field Quarter, that was just magical. Not just the field show, but the Field Quarter when they were all lined up and they got on the track and they started dancing. First of all, I remember seeing on that my left side, seeing the Sierra Coles and the Iries and then the princesses of the world, and I was like, damn, these are the girls I watched in high school.
Exactly.
They're dancing. And then I remember being in front of my era. I call them my era because I went to school with these girls. Right. I went to school with Kayla Pittman. She was a mass comm major too. Me and Connor had class. So these were like my friends. I was in front. It was good to see them back in front of the camera again because it brought me back to more of a happier place where it was more so back when filming was fun.
Yeah.
And less political. And so I had a great time. So I sent my other media team member who was working at the time, I said, you can film the current team.
Right.
I got them. So, yeah, that was a memorable moment. So the dolls have had just memorable moments throughout the years I've been filming them, and I look forward to capturing more.
Yeah, because the 50th was really good. I love the 50th. I love the concept that they came up with, like
There's
generations.
going to be a homecoming to top that. I know other organizations are going to have their version of their 50th, but the dolls set the standard.
Yeah.
Homecoming.
Yeah, I love it.
I will put the world on notice if we do have a football season this year. Homecoming is going to be lit again because it's actually the Golden Blues 20th year. Yeah, so homecoming that week is going to be lit, and there's a lot of dancers that are going to come back and dance. Some of your faves, some people who you didn't even probably realize were Golden Blues are going to come back.
Yeah,
so I'm looking.
Now that you say that, it is going to be lit because you got a lot of old dolls that were Golden Blues too. So yeah.
Talking about the Tara, Sierra Cole. I mean, yeah, that's going to be nice. Leger, Connor. Yeah.
So how do you feel when other people use your work as far as like on YouTube?
On YouTube or when they repost it on Instagram?
Just like on YouTube. Just on YouTube.
It depends. I am going to be honest. I do feel some type of way when people repost my stuff on Instagram and not give me any video credit. I feel the same way when I'm taking graduation pictures and you'll come up with this long ass inspirational caption and not give the photographer any credit.
Right.
2,000 likes on a graduation picture, but nobody knows who took it. So the only thing I appreciate the exposure. It's just it's not really exposure if nobody knows who actually did the work. Exactly. So if you could do me a solid favor, if you're going to repost a video of mine, just give me some credit. My Instagram is drprice_right. And I'll like the video. I promise. That'd be great.
Gotcha. So, being that you were able to film the dolls for so long, who would you say is your favorite captain?
Oh, I don't have a favorite captain. Like, I like all of them different, for different reasons. Now, if you ask me who was the captain I was more close to, we had a great working relationship. Was Caleb Pittman. I met Caleb in 2013. 2013, we were coming out of a math class, and she said, "Hey, are you Marvin?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Okay." Me and my crap sisters were watching the video because I think they performed at LLI the night before, and that's how I met. We didn't really talk, and so I met Kayla again a year after, and we started. She did an interview on a radio station that I was working with, on-campus radio station. It's still on YouTube. You can look it up. I think it's called Exclusive Interview with Caleb Pittman. And so I had just started doll highlight videos maybe 2-3 weeks before that. And so I asked, I said, "Hey, do y'all actually watch my doll highlight videos?" Because I didn't know. I just actually started doing doll highlight videos. And she's like, "Yeah, we watch every one of them." I said, "Oh, the dolls are actually watching my stuff."
Yeah.
And so 2015 is when I think the working relationship got better because we were actually next door neighbors on campus. And so I'll never forget after Fan Fest, I run up to my apartment. Of course, the Wi-Fi is not working on campus. So I'm just sitting in there editing videos. And so I get a knock on the door. She's like, "Hey, Marvin, did you get some good shots today?" And so we actually sat there and we watched the whole thing. And so I was good. I'm still not good friends with her fiance. He's my frat brother. And so throughout that whole season, we just used to always talk about, things that were going on privately, and then just figure out what the best direction was as far as like videos for the 2015 season. So a lot of the stuff, the good videos she saw in 2015, I give her a lot of credit for that. When she left, I made sure to kind of have that same great working relationship with Danielle Stamper, asking, all right, you're the captain now, so what do you want to see? Danielle was pretty simple with me. She was like, I really just want to see the whole team, just make sure you capture us in the best light. And so 2017, I had a great working relationship with all the dolls for the most part. Jada, she was a crab that year. So I actually was filming her when she was Pantherette captain. Right. I used to always get opinions from Teneria and Jordan on what they thought the footage looked like. And I went to them because they were always honest with me. I appreciated their honesty. And so it was just a great working relationship with Kayla and Danny. And I think the biggest thing is, same thing with Gabby too, now that I think about it. I wanted every captain, I wanted every member on the team to know that I do have their best interests at heart. So I try my hardest to make sure that they're happy with the work. And if they're not happy with the footage I provided that week, 9 times out of 10, it's out of my control.
Yeah.
I do my best. So if they watch my videos and don't like the angle, if I didn't get them enough, at least I want them to know that I gave it my best and I did try. And so if they understand that and they're satisfied with my effort, then I'm good.
Right. Okay. So how long does it typically take to edit, your videos from color grading to dual camera adjustments? Like, how long does it take?
Well, now it doesn't take that long because I know what I'm looking for, and I know what I know the look I'm going for. So I can get a video out like that. I moved to this apartment here because the Wi-Fi is fast as hell.
Yeah. And
I don't have time to be up all night. Sundays are my day of rest if there's no battle of the bands going on. So I'm not gonna have no. If the game ends at 6:45, if it's an early game, I want the doll highlight posted by 10 o'clock.
Right.
No excuses. I want a full cinematic-like story being told at 10 o'clock on my YouTube channel. And then if the game is a late game and it ends at 10:30 and I'm fighting LSU traffic because I stay on LSU side of town, I usually Uber to Southern and back and then walk down my street and then into my apartment and then have the video up no later than midnight. Hopefully. Now, if I'm at an away game and my hotspot is acting up, just kind of out of my control.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we'll see.
So, what is it like each week for you guys as far as like videographers?
Well, I can't speak for anybody else. For me, it's preparation. Like sometimes I start off Monday making sure the travel plans are set in stone, making sure hopefully my account is looking right. If it's not looking right and I need to figure out a way to get to the game, then talk to God to go in my prayer closet, make a way, because one thing is for certain, I'm going to find a way.
Right.
I ride a bike hundreds of miles to get the coverage I need to get. I'm definitely going to make it to a game that I need to make. I haven't missed a game in God knows forever. So it's that, making sure my credentials are where they need to be, to be picked up. If they're being mailed, I need them on a certain date. There is no delay. Like everything just has to flow smoothly.
Right.
So if I'm renting a car, I usually try to rent the car the day that I'm leaving, and then just shoot out. Make sure my team members are ready. Make sure my batteries are charged up. Make sure my lenses are clean. Make sure nobody forgets anything.
Yeah.
So for me, Also, now that I do travel with a team, there's a lot of chaperoning, making sure they follow the rules, making sure my hotel is at the standard that it needs to be, not just for myself, but for my team members as well. Because, a cheap hotel doesn't do anything for the greater brain or function. So there's certain hotels I have to make sure I book months in advance at a good price. It's a lot of stuff. So a game week for me, it's a hectic week, and then I still have a day job. So then I, block out videography for 8 hours out of the day, and just focus on my day job. And then if there's a pep rally before the game, or like the day before the game, get somebody to cover it for me if I can't go out there to film it myself. It's a lot. It's a lot. It really depends.
So, in hindsight, what do you think your overall goal is when it comes to filming bands and dance teams?
Really and truly, I just want to bring positive exposure to the HBCU band and dance world. That's all I want to do. I have no other goal. A lot of people are starting to film now to make money off of YouTube, and then you'll be able to decide really quickly who's for real and who's not, because I'm sure you could be a testimony to this. It ain't really that much money.
Okay.
From YouTube, and then all the money I do make from YouTube goes directly towards buying these cameras and paying for hotels and stuff like that. Like, my YouTube money doesn't pay my rent.
Right.
That's why I still work 40 hours a week. So, what was your question again?
Basically, like, what is your overall goal?
So yeah, that's my overall goal, is just to bring exposure to the HBCU world. My goal was to make Southern the most well-covered HBCU. Not just when it came to band, not just when it came to dance team, but just the student life in general.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it for the culture.
Yeah.
For the culture, I'm doing it. Just if somebody says that they chose Southern University, or if I'm by any chance filming another HBCU, if they say they chose that university or that institution of higher learning because they saw my video, then I have done my job.
Exactly.
I have done my job. That was my goal starting, because I'm going to be honest with you, I was discouraged when I first enrolled at Southern. My dad, he took me on LSU's campus first. This is after I got accepted and made my decision to go to Southern. Never been on Southern's campus before, but he took me on LSU's campus, this big PWI in Baton Rouge, about 7 miles away from Southern. And they have all of these nice trees and big new buildings and stuff like that. And then I come over the hump on Southern, and you don't really see that. Now, Southern has made a lot of improvements versus when I was in college as a freshman, but it was discouraging. But then when I got to campus and got involved, and I saw the people, I saw that the people make Southern, and I saw that the events that they had was great. The organizations from Greek life to the band to the dancing dolls were great. I said, man, more people need to know about the HBCU life and culture, and specifically Southern, and what we bring to the table. We're just as hot as anybody else too.
Exactly.
So I tried to do my part, and by making sure that I told Southern's story, that it's the people who make the university. Not so much the administrators, but the students who make the university.
Right.
And hopefully I've done a good job.
Okay, so what advice would you give to a new videographer that wants to film, the band, the dance team, or whatever,
Find your own lane. Don't do what anybody else is doing.
Right.
That's how the competition that you mentioned earlier arises. Comparisons get drawn, and people get offended easily. Find your own lane. Find a band that's not being covered and make a name for yourself. Like I started filming the band, the dancing dolls, because there was somebody already filming the band. You know, Garrett had already made a name for himself for filming the band. So I filmed the dancing dolls, so nobody was filming HBCU dancers and giving them 20 to 30-minute highlight videos.
Right.
So I did that, and so a lot of people are like, "Well, you're successful because the dolls are hot." I call BS on that, because you look at what MF Cool has done. MF Cool, yeah, he marches for Southern's band, but do you see what he did with Alcorn State's program and the Golden Girls specifically? Golden Girls are hot.
Yes.
And a lot of the videos that have gone viral is because of his work. How? Because he found his own lane, and he made a name for himself as a videographer by filming something that other people weren't filming. Yeah, he could have easily said, "Well, shit, I'm marching for Southern, or I marched in a band, I go here, I'm going to just film Southern because it's easier." No. He adopted Alcorn, and he's exploded.
Yeah.
You look at, who's another videographer? You look at Trinian. Trinian, you know, what he does with Jackson State in the JS. You look at the videos with the most views coming from Jackson State are videos he filmed.
Right.
He could have easily said, "Hell, I'm filming the Dancing Dolls too. And I'm filming a band too, because that's my institution as well."
Right.
You saw other people are doing that, and he moved on.
Right.
And because he was able to move on, his channel is just exploding. Like he's, you know, he's hot right now.
Yeah.
So, Smash Time Productions, made a name in New Orleans, with the high school dance team and the high school bands, and then he shows all of the HBCUs who don't usually get exposure love. Like he was the first one to show Alcorn State love. He was the first one to show Miles some real love and provide cover. So, find your own lane. Find your own lane. Study your craft. Don't go out there with no camera and you don't know how to work it, because you're going to look stupid in front of some videographers who know what they're doing. They're going to talk about you.
Yep.
So find your own lane, get your own style, do something different that makes you
right.
So, and I wish you well.
Yep. So what's next? What's next for you? What's in your plans?
Well, as far as this season goes, I'm trying to see if we're going to have a season dealing with all of this coronavirus stuff. My plans this season is to continue to mentor, to continue to work with students who want the opportunity to learn more about filming and to get that coverage of filming, covering SWAC games on their resume. I want to be a mentor to them, and I'm still gonna just do what I've been doing. I have no big plans on doing anything outside of what I've been doing. I may travel a little more and cover some other teams. It just really depends. But I notice my goal is to always outdo the work that I provided last season.
Right.
So the one thing you can expect from me is to try to give you a better product than what I did last year.
Yeah, I got you. So that's all of my questions that I have. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you. And I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
Because, I'll say this. A lot of the stuff I see on YouTube and in these comments are nasty and filthy. It's more so geared toward bashing the girls, and I'm just not a fan of it. And so I want people to know who's watching this. If Morgan wasn't reputable, I wouldn't have done this interview, because let me tell you, I have a solid team around me who make sure that I don't say anything that hinder my brand, and I'm not associated with channels and people that are not good for the overall goal that I'm trying to accomplish. So I just want to say, Morgan, keep doing you. What you're doing is original. What you're doing is unique, and I wish you all the success.
Thank you. And you know, you really brought something to the light. Like, I want to help enlighten people on how good these teams are. I want people to understand, like, it's okay to watch all dance teams. You don't have to just watch one. You see what I'm saying? Like, I love, you know, doing that. So I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's no problem at all. Like I said, if you need me for anything at all, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you.
Got you. Thank you so much for this interview.
Not a problem. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right.